Good morning. Ooh, look, the sun's in my face. Sun is shining in the sky. Woo, people. It is, as we would say when I was up in Massachusetts, whoa, let me try this. It is wicked hot. It is wicked hot. So you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? No, you may ask yourself then, okay, if it's wicked hot, what are you doing outside? Well, I will tell you. First of all, hey, Annalisa and Cat Mama and Joan, and On Fire for you. Awesome, Spud and Daisy May. What a great combo. I am outside because I'm going to spend most of the day in my house today. And my house is, and I am so blessed. I am so proud of myself and my husband for spending the money to get air conditioning in our house. But I also like the fresh air. I also then strangely get cold out when I get in the house. But I figured, you know what I'll do? I went for a walk. I'm kind of hot. I went inside. It cooled off a little bit. This will give me a chance to kind of reacclimate. I don't know. So good morning. Is when I was a kid, we had a neighbor, Bert. I can't remember his last name. And he used to make fun of me, as people do, for saying all the time. Is just like a thing to say while you're biding time to figure out what you're going to say. Okay, Annalisa, yes, you're wicked hot and my wicked hot. Yeah, we're hanging up clothes. My wicked hot punched your wicked hot right in the nose. Yeah, oh my gosh, hon, I do not envy you people in Texas. That freaking must be miserable. Oh, hon, stay cool. Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, okay? Christina Glendale, speaking about people who live in hot climates, good morning, my friend. Yes, South Florida's steaming hot too. Here's the crazy thing. It's only like 85 degrees here, but I think, I hate that old saying, it's not the heat, the humidity. It's the heat and it's the humidity. Okay, On Fire for you is in New Orleans. I should probably just shut up about complaining about the temperature in Pennsylvania, okay? But it is, humidity does, and there we go. Avoid garage decluttering like crazy. Yes, today is the place to declutter whatever is dark and quiet and chilly and, all that stuff. So, here's a funny thing. I don't know, just since we're just talking, Abbott Elementary, happy Sunday. So it's funny, Abbott Elementary, I know you just commented on the videotape, what am I, like 80? The video I just posted about decluttering your t-shirts. And I literally did that this morning. I only share on TikTok and when I do my mailing lists and stuff like that, when I feel like I have something good to share. So I hate that notion of a foolish consistency, like I have to post every day. I like to post when I have something good to share. Other than that, I don't want to waste your time. Catherine saying it's shutting up here, yeah, in Michigan as well. But I was wearing a t-shirt. This is like my third clothing change for the day. Actually, fourth. I was wearing pajamas, and then I put on an uncomfortable t-shirt. And then as I was putting on my sneakers, I'm like, I don't like how this t-shirt's making me feel. I'm getting cranky pants already. And so then I took off that t-shirt, and I put on another one. That one was better. And then I made a video about it, and I walked around, and I got wicked hot on that thing. And literally, I came in the house, and I was like, I am putting my pajamas back on. Notice, period, I don't even know why I said that. People, here, let me breathe. Notice how when you don't feel good physically, it can affect other areas of your life. This is why it's so important for us as people, as declutterers, but as just humans, to make sure you feel okay physically and mentally and energetically. All those good feels is the start of what we're working on, Yes, okay, Annalisa, I love this. Annalisa is saying, and for those of you who've just met me, this is what I do. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is destinationdeclutter.com, and I do one-on-one coaching for clients all over the country because I coach on Zoom. And I also show up and do these TikTok lives. Annalisa, I like to repeat these things that people say because I also upload the TikToks to YouTube. I was feeling frustrated about how much stuff I still had to go, and then I had to stop and reflect on how much I have let go. Yes, notice the stopping, the pausing, the slowing down, and reframing, basically. You know, yes, you have stuff ahead of you, but man, oh Shevitz, man, oh war, how much stuff you have released. You can choose, you can see, you can half empty, half full. You know, you can focus on all the stuff ahead of you and get overwhelmed, or you can look at all the stuff that you've done in the past and be like, I kind of kicking some major butt here. You know? There we go. On fire for you is trying to get rid of bad fibers that are hormone disrupting. Wear 100% cotton or bamboo or linen. Hell yeah. These are my cotton pajamas. I remember that from back in the 70s because I'm of an age. All right. Good morning, Carly. Nice to meet you. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I'll be here on TikTok doing this live for the next 53 minutes. It is 10:07 East Coast time where I am. I'm in Pennsylvania. I know a bunch of you. You said you were in different states. I coach people from all over the country. I do one-on-one coaching with people. I do a 10-session package. If you want to get into that, I love it. It's so much fun. My clients show up here all the time on the TikToks because that's tend to be where I meet people. But I usually show up here to help you, first of all, with your decluttering. And one of the very first helps is making sure you feel good in your body, in your mind, inside your skin. And because if you're not feeling good, you're not going to do good. Right? If you're feeling crabby, if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling hot and sweaty and your underpants are riding up and your bubs, you're sweating, then you do something about it. You do something about it. This is what I want to empower you with. If you don't like how you feel, if you don't like what's going on, if you're not feeling good about something, if you're not comfortable, if it's not what you want, you can do something to change it. I like to change it through decluttering your house because then it's like a bonus. You get to learn how to change things and you get a bonus of a house that's looking and feeling good. Okay? I love it. Facebook Marketplace, trying to sell furniture and downsizing. Good luck with that. And I mean that in the nicest of ways. Not good luck with that. That's another lesson. Here, I am full of lessons, people. If you took down, you could write my book for me. You could just by writing down these things I say all the time. Notice how you can say something to yourself. And depending upon the tone, the energy behind it, it will make you feel a certain way. Notice the difference when I say from the negative, no fear, backseat driver. Yeah, good luck with that. You're not going to do it. It's going to be hard. Whatever. Good luck with that. We'll see how that works out. Notice how that makes you feel. However, now that you know how crappy that makes you feel, the flip side, on the other hand, on the other side, there's always a flip side. How about this? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I hope you get the money you want and more. I hope somebody comes and picks it up immediately. You can do that. I am wishing you sincerely good luck. Notice, same words, different energy. Fear, no. Love, yes. Discouragement, encouragement. Anger, dismissive, judgy, I don't know, curious, hopeful, encouraging. Seriously. Thank you for letting me know I have great analogies for people to declutter. Yeah, you know what? That's how it made sense to me. I like talking in analogies. That's why I like, and it's so funny, when I do these TikTok lives outside, I look out to my driveway because I'm only about 5 feet away from it, 10 feet maybe, and I can look out to my car. So I use the car, the road trip metaphor. No lie, people, changed my life. And I'll explain why. Yeah, okay, yes, my backseat drivers also say, don't get rid of it, you might need it someday. Right, and that's when you turn to them. You don't shut them down, you have a conversation. You turn around and face, listen to this, what you were scared of, which is hearing what they say, and you don't necessarily have to believe everything you hear. Question it and ask yourself, is me believing this going to help me get to where I want to go, or is it going to keep me where I am? Now, I want to say that your backseat drivers are coming from a fear of not having something if you need it. So everybody, just do this. Think of one thing in your house. Picture one thing in your house that brings to mind the kind of the feeling of I don't want it, but then when you feel, oh, I could get rid of that, the voice in your head says, no, you can't get rid of that. You might need it someday. Let me think of something from my life. Oh, there was something recently. Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty good at this. But How about this? We have I don't know, like a cooler bag. We have a cooler bag, and I'm like, we don't need that. We have plenty. I might need it someday. Okay, notice it. We have used it. It is a good shape. We do use it occasionally. It doesn't take up much room. Okay, we're going to keep it. But sometimes we've had more than enough. Abbott Elementary, you and I were mentioning this morning. Quantity versus quality. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Judy is saying, sitting next to an elliptical nobody uses. Can't get rid of it on Facebook? Maybe just sit it on the curb. Please, people, do not underestimate the power of something free on the curb. But do me a favor and do you a favor to increase the likelihood that somebody's going to pick it up. Let them know it is free. Tape a piece of paper that says in big, easy, simple to read from a distance letters, free, on it. I know this for perfect example is we had some neighbors who had a table and chair set kind of near their garbage cans recently. And I was like, oh, I think I know somebody who might want a table like that, but I don't know if it's free. I don't know if they have it there staged there because somebody else is picking it up or whatever. Release the ambiguity. So yeah, you know what? And make it easy on yourself. If it's easy, see what happens. We literally have had a permanent free sign that we've used for 10, 15 years because we moved into this small house with way too much stuff because I used to sell mid-century stuff. We moved in, as I joke, but it's not even a joke, it's true, with like 4 or 5 couches, 17 or 18 lamps, whole bunch of smalls. I will say this, it was 14 or 15 years ago that I did a garage sale in the garage over here of so much stuff I had. Wow. And even then I didn't release all of it. It's a process, people. It's not an overnight thing, and that's totally okay. Because you're going to move as fast as your body moves. Your brain is like, part of it's like, I just want this done. And your body's like, yeah, wait, hold on. This is how I'm moving. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Christina says, fear is paralyzing. Fear can make you paralyzed. I'm afraid. And you freeze like those little bunnies or the squirrels. Like, are you going to kill me? But then, wait a minute. Is really getting rid of a rice cooker going to kill you? I don't know. But the fear of not having something can be something if you don't pay attention to it. You know? There we go. Judy, freaking thing was so expensive, but it stresses me sitting there. How about this? Notice how you can, everybody, all of us have done this in the past, will do it, maybe even today, and definitely will do it in the future. We are going to spend money on things that don't work out for us. We can spend a little money, we can spend a lot of money. I have a very short, unhappy first marriage that my parents spent a wicked lot of money on a wedding. It didn't work out. Now, am I going to stay in an unhappy space just because I spent money on it? People do it. Absolve yourself of the money you spent and take it as a lesson learned. Well, that doesn't work for me. I thought, even spending a lot of money on something, I thought spending a lot of money on an elliptical and putting it right here was going to make me go on to the elliptical. Maybe it did for a while and maybe it doesn't anymore. But have it hanging around making you feel bad is definitely not going to make you use it. And it's not going to get you your money back. Yeah, oh, even better, too. This is a really good one, too. SC Native says, in addition to free on the sign, put that it works on the sign. Yeah. You know, put that it works. These are the little things you do to increase the likelihood, to make it easy for you to remove those things. Everybody, make sure you hydrate. Make sure you hydrate, okay? Decluttering is, I mean, you can hear me, if you want to just hear me talk, I can talk, but if you have questions, you know, I know, looking at you drinking your water, notice imitation. Oh, it's nice. It's got some ice in it. I'm hitting my pulse points. I can feel the condensation on the glass. There we go. They're even getting the manual in a zipper bag. If I can get my son to get it out of here. Port a call. Oh, that's right. You're from Nolans. So you know exactly where I got this. And let me tell you, 32 ounces. If I drink 2 of these of water in a day, I feel like a rock star. If I have even one of these full of a hurricane, let's say. I can't remember what they call theirs. I'm feeling kind of loopy. Yes, wicked good burgers too. But notice the stuff that you keep and the stuff that release. This didn't cost me anything because I bought the drink in it. I saved it because I tend to, I've been in the past, and still kind of to this day, I've been in the habit of saving souvenirs for my trips. Now I tend to say, is it useful? This one's definitely useful because it's the right size. But watching, if I do this on every single trip, if I bring a mug home, I used to be really into the tiki world, and my husband and I started collecting tiki mugs, and boy, did we realize really quickly that that can take over your life. And so now I am very particular, and even to the point where even if it's free, I practice decluttering when I'm traveling, because I will leave things that I know are not going to be useful in the place that I have traveled to. And I remembered on my memories, Yeah, here's a funny thing on fire. So we had two. I tend to get things now. I used to be like, oh, there's so many, I'm just going to bring everyone home. No. Nowadays, if I'm collecting something for our house, and that's even really rare, I'll say, well, I'll bring only two home because that's my husband and me. We had two, and then I used one in the car, and then he flipped the seat down and didn't look to see what was on the floor, and it crushed one. Now, in a way, that's okay because he doesn't really use his, and we didn't really need to. I'm okay with one. And the neat thing is if I decide if I don't want this anymore, or if it gets broken or I forget it someplace, I have something else to drink from. But notice what I'm just doing there. I am reminding myself that even if I don't have this thing, that I'm okay. I am helping my nervous system feel safe to release something. That it's okay to let it go because I'm all right. I have enough. Angel Girl 604542. I have my mom's KitchenAid mixer on my counter, and I've never used it. Cool. Do I sell it? Let me ask you, with no judgment, do you want to sell it? If it's one of those fancy ones, I know that people spend money on them. If you don't want it, that's okay. Your mom wanted it, she got it, that's awesome. You don't have to like it just because she did. Give it a shot. What's the easiest way you could sell it? I'm all about easy, just so you know. And SE Main Native says, yes, sell the mixer and move on. Now that's your opinion, and I think too, yeah, sell it and move on. You have to feel comfortable enough in yourself, safe enough to make that decision yourself. And if you're not, question why you're not feeling that. Okay? Yeah. Great kitchen item, does many things, definitely has value. Yeah, my mom passed, of course. So you know what? I'm sorry to hear about your mom passing. Your mom loves you. Even from wherever she is now. She's up there. They all are. And she doesn't want you weighed down with a mixer that you don't use. Trust me, not having it doesn't mean you don't love your mom if you don't keep her mixer. You could not have one stitch of items on the planet to remind you of somebody who's passed, and you can still love them with your heart. You don't need evidence. You don't need to be guilted into saving something that they liked, okay? Yeah. So notice this. Yeah, if it holds a specific memory for you, you could take a picture and print it and frame it. Even better, Annalisa, I will share this with you, because notice, then if you print it and you frame it, you still have a physical item to deal with. It's lighter than a mixer. Here's what I think. Honestly, you guys, I was thinking about this on my walk back up from downtown when I was sweating to the oldies. Oh, sorry, I just reminded myself of Richard Simmons. He was such a good guy. Okay, I digressed. And it's funny because that's totally a New Orleans thing as well. I think that we are so lucky to live in a digital world, because the digital world will help us declutter our physical world. What do I mean by that? Perfect example. Yeah, I was really touched by that. We had just literally, our friends, we're talking about Richard Simmons. He had such a big heart. He really did. My friends and I, no lie, were talking about him on Monday night. You just never know. Here's how the digital, your access to technology is going to make your decluttering so much easier. because I was thinking about this with the t-shirt that I put on this morning that didn't fit, or it was just not comfortable. It was, the cut was wrong, the fabric was wrong. It made me feel like a load, and I didn't want that. And I realized I've done this before. So the idea of creating another physical product from it, like I have taken some of my vintage like rock tees and just t-shirts from the past and my husband's, and we did get some of those t-shirt quilts made. However, I have way more t-shirts than I want quilts. Yes, and Shannon Doherty passed away too. And Dr. Ruth, you guys, I don't know if you're of an age. I'm a Gen Xer, elder Gen X, I will say, elder statesperson. And yeah, people are dying. You're dying, I'm dying. But I want to try to finish one thought because I have so many thoughts that I just want to help you with. I want to share you with. Be mindful of when you create something physical to remember something, because then you're also going to then need to deal with that. What are you going to do with the thing? I think a digital camera is your friend, because what I realized was I don't want any more t-shirt quilts. I have a lap blanket for my husband, and I have a lap blanket for me, and he barely uses it because he's a boy. He runs hot, but I get cold. So I do use mine, but I don't need any more than two. Then I realized, you know what I could take a picture of the t-shirt logo and then donate the t-shirt, but I still have the picture of the logo. And the picture on my phone does not take up that much physical space. I can also decide to delete it in a hot minute. Okay? Yeah. And Shelley Duvall. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you guys, I'm Irish. We read the obituaries like the sports pages. But keep in mind, you guys, no lie. I don't know this. I don't know if you know this, but you are going to die too. I am going to die too. And we don't know when that's going to happen to us. We don't. I had a friend who passed away a few months ago. I have a friend who passed away a week ago Saturday. He did not know that was his last night on earth. I say this to encourage you, to give you some urgency, to say, how do you want to live out the rest of your days? Do you want to live out the rest of your days surrounded by clutter? Or do you want to do something about it now so that regardless of how many days you have ahead of you, you're feeling better because you learned how to take care of stuff? You know? I love the fact that I took care of some things in my life. I got some help. I got coaching. And not about clutter, because clutter is actually something I'm good at. But I take what I learned in coaching, my own coaching, and then my coaching training, and I apply it to clutter. And the thing is, too, I hate to break this to you because I think of this, too. And this is me being really sincere about this and really just personal. I have a grandfather who had Alzheimer's. I have an aunt who had dementia. My dad died from Lewy body dementia. Everybody in my life like that started seeing the effects of that type of stuff in their 60s. Now, I'm 57. I'm going to be 58 in a month. I can look through the windshield and I'm like, holy shit. The 60s are ahead of me. I got my license, my driver's license renewed a couple of weeks ago. They renew every 4 years. The next time I go to renew my license, I'm going to be freaking in my 60s. That's when, even if you have the quantity of years ahead of you, your body may not want to work as well as it does now. And this is the thing, that my brain may not work as well as I want it to. That's why I think I'm showing up all the time now. Before the possibility of my brain failing happens, that I communicate all to you. I share my stories with you and how to help you so that if we can do it now. You know, I also may be sharp as a tack. My mother's 83. My grandmother, was 101 when she passed almost. And you just never know. Okay? So, yeah, I know, Judy, when Bon Jovi is on the AARP magazine cover, yeah. There you go, Lisa. Lisa's been taking pictures of my mom's stuff to make a collage to frame. How about this? Instead of a collage, I'm just riffing here because this is what I like to do, is make a folder on your computer, not your computer, but on your phone. Why print? I mean, you can print it out and you can decorate with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But then realize when you pass, somebody else is going to figure out, oh crap, what do I do with this thing that somebody did? You're saving some effort, you know? So, yeah. Hey, it's Sunday morning. I'm talking about death. Death is a motivator, people. Start to live before you die. And while you're living, make sure you feel good. Hydrate. Hear that? Hear that ice? I am literally taking the cold condensation here and putting it on my cotton pajamas here, and it feels so good. And when it feels so good, you're going to feel better. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but man, do we love the sunshine and rainbows, so why not decrease the stuff that's not good? You know? Yeah. Okay, my worry with digital stuff is change. We have VHS tapes. Will thumb drives be that to my grandkids? Good question, Judy. But I want to say this. Share the stories with them now. Share the photos with them now. Digitize them to the most. Get them out there. Distribute them. Don't wait to share your stories. Boy, I wish I had been sensible enough. I mean, there were great aunts and everything. I know that my great aunts had lives that I wish I knew more about now. But I was a little kid. I didn't know. They tried to share them with me, and I heard them kind of anecdotally. Start to share your stuff now. And I mean it. If you have things you want people to know or own or just share the story of it, start to do that now. Yeah. I've seen, yeah. Start to share it with your kids so they can, even if the grandkids are young, tell the stories to your kids. Have them have a digital picture of it. Have them start to create their own family tree. You know? Yeah, and I've heard the movie all about it. I'm Still Alice is a movie about dementia. Yeah. It's not a pretty thing. I will never forget, speaking of digitizing, my dad was in the Navy, late 50s to early 60s, even throughout the life I knew because he was in the reserves. And I found when I was decluttering some of my parents' house, the cool stuff, I found some slides of my dad's. So I sent them away. This was now 14 years ago. I sent them, probably a little bit more than that, yeah, because he passed 14 years ago. And I sent away some of his slides to get digitized because I wanted to share them with him so he could tell the stories of who these people were. And we knew some of it from, living with him. And I will never forget bringing my computer to the place, he was in like a rehab center or like a old age home type thing because he had Lewy body dementia, and showing them to him. And he's like, oh, that's right. That was in like 1974 when I did this. And I was like, it wasn't 74, Dad. And I didn't say this to him, but it broke my heart to realize that this guy who used to be so good on dates and things like that was off by decades as to when these things happened, So I don't want to get all glum, people. We could definitely go down into the deep, and this is glum and stuff like that. The only reason I bring this up is do it freaking now. What is stopping you? What is stopping you? And I want to say, I think this is from my coaching, is feeling safe enough, secure to make a decision. You think that? If you're in I don't know is kind of a stopgap. You're not ready. How can you get ready? What's going to help you? Okay, energy stops you. I think the lack of energy, perhaps. Here's a fun thing, though. I'm not saying you're wrong. Trust me. When I'm exhausted, I don't want to do anything. But I want to offer this. Decluttering is a physical thing, but only after you've made a mental decision. And you really can't make a mental decision about your stuff unless you're feeling okay. You're feeling safe that I feel safe. I'm not going to get in trouble. Something bad's not going to happen if I release this thing. So you can do a lot of decision making, but again, it goes back to feeling good. Excuse me, the sun's getting in my eyes here. Let me see if I can shuffle. Everybody shuffling. Okay. Yeah, Cat Mama. It's hard letting go of stuff and realizing the last half of life, career done, etc. Right. Notice I think of our lives as a book. Here's another analogy from my collection. I collect analogies. Our life is like a book. You have chapters that begin and chapters you're in and then chapters that end. But your book never ends until you die. So Cat Mama, I know you've been going through a lot because you show up a lot on these TikTok lives. And I know that you are dealing with not only your kind of end of one chapter of your life, which is a huge chapter in many of our lives. I am there right now in that kind of late 50s, early 60s, like retirement age thing. I'm like, how can I retire? I'm like a kid. I'm a kid inside, but boy, does my body tell a different story. Notice that you are dealing with a number of those things and offer yourself some grace. You are doing so well. You are focusing on cleaning out your mom's stuff because she couldn't deal with her stuff. But also, as the end of this chapter as this chapter has come to an end, I want to share with you the excitement and the encouragement and the spark of when you know that you are in control of writing your next chapter. You can start to take notes. What do I want to do in my next chapter, in this chapter that I'm about to live? What are the things I want? What are the things I don't? Do I want to be saddled at home, dusting and caring for my tchotchkes? Or do I just want to travel the globe while my body and my brain and my time on the planet still can do it? Do I want to do the flip side? Have I traveled all my career and now I just want to hunker down and garden? Yeah, your career is done. Yeah, looking in the past and realizing you have fewer days ahead of you than you do behind you also makes you realize, let me get on the stick, Let me get going before I'm gone. But also I will say this, honestly, if you tell yourself it's going to be hard, it is going to be hard. But if you tell yourself, not that it's going to be easy, but it's probably not going to be as hard as you think. You are grieving. We are all grieving people who passed, including past lives of ourselves. Past lives of ourselves. I am grieving my early 50s me. I think back on my early 50s me, and my 40s me, and my 30s me, and my 20s me, and my teens me, and my 10s me, and my baby me. I'm every woman. It's all in me, right? But love every single one of those decades that you had, Okay? AK is asking a nice, simple, easy kind of, what do you call it? I call it traveling over into the shallow end of the pool, because I'm getting kind of deep, as I do. This is how I coach. But it's good stuff in the deep end, but let's swim over to the shallow end of the pool. What do you do with papers, bills, etc.? Do you shred everything or keep a certain amount? I will tell you what I do, and these are some things that you can do that if you feel like it's going to work for you. First of all, notice why you're keeping any papers. Why are you keeping any papers? Pretty much, especially if you grew up in a paper era, notice that we are 1 foot in the paper age and 1 foot in the digital age, and kind of in between and navigating that. The paper pictures versus the digital pictures. The paper bills versus the digital ones. Notice what you have and ask yourself before you even start to go through your stuff, why am I even saving this? And then listen for the answer. I think 2 things are going to come up. Having coached people about this all the time, and I love it. You save things because you think you might need it someday, but then ask yourself, why do I need this? What does this paper prove? I always think of paper as evidence. Evidence I did something. Evidence that I got the bill and I paid the bill, and evidence that in case I need to look up how much it cost me for my Wi-Fi in February of 2024, I have that. You can also just honestly, seriously, especially if you grew up in the paper era, you probably developed your paper and office and your filing system and your paying bills in the era prior to or during the very early years of digital, where you didn't feel safe. Notice the safety. The safety of I don't feel safe. I'm afraid. There's fear that if I get rid of this, I can't find that information online. So notice why you're saving it. And what I have discovered is this. I save paper for 2 reasons. One is, first of all, I do have my own system. I'm not going to lie to you. My own system is something I developed years ago, and it's so simple because I'm really good at creating simple systems that it doesn't take me that long to save some papers. I go, when I look at it, I go through, it's pretty much just a few things. But I am digital on a lot of things. Also, every time a year goes by, I take all the paper that I saved and then I pull it out and then, I put it in a bag to get shredded. I don't do shredding on a daily basis. I personally find that a waste of time and aggravation. And I don't want to spend any of my time doing anything I don't want to do. I'd rather let the papers accumulate, let them sit there, and when I find that there's going to be a shredding event near me, I'll take the time to do that. Okay? The other thing you probably save your papers for is like taxes or insurance. There are legitimate reasons to save some papers, but are you saving papers you don't need to save? You can go digital on a lot of things if you feel comfortable with it. Yeah. Judy is saying picture on a phone and then shred it, but also why do a picture on a phone if you can also log on to your system on the internet and pick it up? I know this because I'm helping my mother now with her stuff, and I can log into all her accounts and anything, even if she doesn't get it. I got her digital because she was being overwhelmed with paper. Mm-hmm. I thought I saw something floating in my water. I apologize. Yeah, notice Gia loves flowers. Makes me feel better knowing I can find it if I need it. Do not underestimate. The reason we do things is to make ourselves feel safe and secure and better. So notice that's what you're getting to a certain extent when you save things. But when that also causes stuff to pile up, you can change that. Quantity and quality. Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, Judy, I've done that. I bought a little notebook for the passwords, and I'm sure you guys have seen these things online, you know, the knockbox and all those things. My thing is, especially with passwords, is mine often have to be changed all the time. So I have a certain formula I use to change my things, but notice that if you do write these things down, you just have to keep them updated, okay? Notice how everybody's got a little thing here. I want to say, this is what we would do if I was your client. If you were my client, if I was your woman and you were my man, just popped into my head. I figured I'd share it with you. We would sit down and we would just go through it. I go through paperwork a lot with clients and say, okay, let's go through your stories of why you save it. How you save it, where you put it. Is there an easier way for you to do this? Do you really need that? And I don't ask you, I don't say, you don't need that. I allow you the safety of making your own decisions. And say, you know what? When you come into me and you're like, you know what? You're right. I don't need to get my Verizon bill or my T-Mobile bill in paper all the time because I can log in and look at that. I empower you to feel good about walking through the process to make a decision that makes you feel safe and then changing something. Okay? There we go. Judy just says, I literally had to change one as we are here, and a reminder to then change it into my notebook. Yeah. My life is led by Apple Reminders. If it works for you, then use it. But this is what I do in coaching. I can only, there's over 100 people right here. There's no way I can coach everybody in this 1 hour. But when I coach, it's so great because it's just you and me, nice and quiet, sitting down, and all we do is customize all of this for you, for how your brain works, for how your life works, how your life is, how your brain is, your schedule, your energy, and also not just how it is now, but also how you want it to be. And then we say, okay, again, how do you want your life to be? Do you want to spend time doing this? Cool. Let's set it up like that. If you want to spend just a little bit of time doing that, we can make it simple. Okay? All right. Now, I love this. There we go. Julie Knox Realtor says, I love paper and I'm a realtor. All of our forms are online now, and here's the word I love, and it's so much easier. So much easier. Yeah. I helped my mother sell a house. I was in Pennsylvania. She was in Massachusetts, and the house was on Cape Cod. All of that was done electronically. It was crazy and awesome to be able to do that. It's so much easier to do it. Now, Stacy H63 brings up a good thing. And I don't want to say remind you because you've maybe never heard of this because you've never coached with me before or, done one of my TikTok lives. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. There's paper on your surfaces, there's paper that's stored in your house, and there's paper that is sentimental. Sentimental things are different than the Verizon bill that just came in the mail on yesterday. Okay? Stacy is saying, I am saving paper for emotional reasons. Thoughts I journaled, past cards written to me. Totally. I get that too. I have that too. I have boxes of that stuff down the basement myself. But what I've gone through is I've curated those, and that's a different category of paper than bills and random stuff that comes in the mail. Okay? And here's the wonderful thing. You get to decide what you keep. What coaching does, it just gives you a safe space to just kind of go through your thought process to examine, I have kept this. Do I still want to keep this in the future? Or is there another way I could remember whatever this is that's easier than keeping the paper? And here's the funny thing about me. I really feel like I am a late bloomer because every single job I've had in the past has led me to what I do now, which is decluttering life coaching. I was an art history major in college, so I was ill-equipped to have any kind of practical job in the world. So I got into retail, and when I got into retail, because I was creative, I leaned towards, because this is my yin-yang, I was both parts manager of stores and also visual merchandising. And visual merchandising is finding a way to make things look good and function well. The more you want, visual merchandising isn't just looking pretty, it's like putting things in a place to make it easy for clients to sell. I later got into, again, helping people, managing teams, developing people, but then also creating systems. I got an award. I've gotten a couple of awards at the job I used to have for making things more simple. And I love doing that now with clutter because I grew up in a cluttered house, and I know personally that clutter can stop you from doing the stuff you want to do in your life. Yes, Judy, you got to go. I will keep drinking my water. And look, you guys, a little bit every day. It's like a sip of water. Every little bit. Can you imagine if I tried to guzzle this? I'm going to drink it all. I'm going to all do it all in one time. No. My body would rebel. I would probably throw up and poop my pants at the same time. It would be awful. I would feel miserable. Don't try to do your cluttering all at once. Think of it as a sip at a time, a step at a time, a piece of paper at a time, and move at a pace that works for you. And what this is going to do is going to make you feel better. And when you feel better, it's going to be easier for you to show up the next day and lather, rinse, and repeat. And when you show up the next day, if you decluttered yesterday, you now have fewer items in your house than you did. If you decluttered yesterday, today you have fewer items than you did when you started yesterday. I don't know, I got to work on that one. But you know what I mean? Like yesterday I had 1,000 items in my house, and then I put 10 of them in a bag and I donated them. Now I have 9,990. That's not a lot, but it's less than before. And then the next day I do it, and the next day I do it, and there we go. So yes, there we go. Linda Moser, bug. B, anybody? That's like a in joke with about 6 people. B. These are Payer glasses. Yes, they are. I do like them. I like them mainly for the magnetic sunglasses. They're not as good as the one that I got at the expensive, or not the expensive, Freudian slip, the the full price eye doctor that I'm going to do a video for this week, that I really love down there, but I really like that. I realized I thought I was going to use a lot of these little things here, and then I'm simple. I don't want to clutter up my thing. I don't want to buy a lot of stuff. Oh, I got this matches, this matches. You know what matches for me? Black glasses, and occasionally, if I don't want to go as heavy on the glasses, I pop them off. Okay? Yeah, 1% better and better every day. And even if you can't do every day, my phone's getting hot here. Even if you can't do every day, every other day, that works every other day. Doing something more than you used to that gets you where you want to go is going to be better. It doesn't have to be regimented. It can be. Don't get me wrong. If you are regimented, like seriously, I will plant the seed with you guys. I realized, and you probably heard me yesterday talk about, kind of getting back in the habit of doing some things that I know are going to make me feel better. Eating more healthy, doing some more exercises, drinking more water, laying off the booze and the snacking as much. And I used to advocate for this really simple, almost comically simple, habit tracker. Now, I haven't been using it myself, so I don't talk about it, but now I'm going to reuse it. So I just offer that to you, that for the people on my mailing list, you're going to be the first ones. I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? For like the month of August, I'm going to get back on my habit tracker. Do you want to track some habits? Do you want to get slightly better at habits and join me so you're not doing it alone? Just something I'm thinking about, Yeah, okay, notice this too. I love this. I love K Major saying decluttering definitely makes the atmosphere lighter. Yeah, it really does. I love that. But notice that. Notice the words lighter. Atmosphere feels lighter. Love it. But on the flip side, user 616, and this is not a judgment. I just wanted you to notice these things because you guys, this is so fascinating to me. Notice the words you use and how they make you feel. Notice, user 616, and I'm not calling you up, but I'm just using this as an example because you wrote it yourself. You wrote words. I definitely have to keep fighting my reasoning to stop holding on to things. It's a daily battle. I don't know about you. I don't want to battle. I don't want to fight. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I will kick somebody's ass if they need it, but usually I'm a lover, not a fighter. Don't make it a battle. Make it a game. Make it a treasure hunt. Make it a Discovery Channel. Make it, a TV movie. Make it your own TV show. You're doing your own hoarders at your own house. It's not even your stuff. It's somebody else's. Make it fun and not a battle. Just by switching some words in your head, it can feel different. Know this. Oh, hey, this is cool. DD fan here, even watching now from Japan at 11:45 p.m. on a Sunday. I love it. Thank you, International. I love it. I have an international following, guys. Today's the day. Love it. Okay. I love it. Kristen is decluttering her desk junk drawer right now. That to me is, that's a really nice, easy thing to do because there's so much that's just categorizing. How many pens do I have? Pens and markers and Sharpies and how many pairs of scissors and here's my paper clips and here's my extra paper and here's my Post-its. It's like having your own personal staples, I love this. Little bit by little bit, Phoenix for Fire is saying, took different drawers and areas over the last 2 weeks and filled the trunk for donations. Awesome. Notice you can do it, and you're doing it a little bit at a time. Okay? There we go. Julie Knox, Realtor. I love your tips and love simple. Mom OCD and Dad cluttery, divorced when I was 12. I am a mix of both. Yeah, I'm a mix of both too. But you know who you and I are right now? We are our own people. We can decide who we want to be. We can decide if we want to be OCD and cluttery, and we can do whatever we want. Yeah, make it more fun and games. Yeah. Yeah, and here's a funny thing. Kristen is noticing. You're going to notice things that you habitually have, that you have a lot of quantity of. Post-its and tape flags and checkbooks galore. Yeah, isn't it interesting to see the quantity of items that you have when you put them all together? You're normally watching from PA. Well, that's awesome, TikTok user. I love it. You're going to find when you get into your stored clutter, and that's what a drawer is. Drawer, store. Get it? And then closets and cupboards, it's a door. So it's stored. Your stored clutter is where you play matchy-matchy. Here's all my t-shirts. Here's all my underpants. Here's all my mugs. Here's all my mixing bowls. Here's my china. Here's how many glasses I have. Anything that's stored, what you're going to notice is you have a quantity. And this is where, again, Abbott and Elementary and I were talking about this a little bit this morning. Quantity versus quality. What is the quality of the items you have? How many t-shirts did you have that make you feel like crap? That means you don't have the good quality. If you reduce the crappy stuff, you've just upped the value of your collection. Oop, my phone just went. We'll see. Okay, like with like. Yes, like items together. We used to say that at Pier 1. Same type of thing. But think about this, everybody. Even if you've never been a collector, you have stuff that you like better than other things. If you remove the things you don't like, you're only surrounded by the stuff you do like. And you would be curious. You notice how you use 20% of your stuff 80% of the time. There's probably so much quantity of stuff in your house that you don't even use. Okay? Hey, Moa says, hey, just had an estate company come, only took 4 items versus 10 for sale. I feel deflated. How about this? Feel psyched that they took the 4. You wish that they took the 10. Oh, well, but they took 4 things. They could have taken none. Now, yeah, there we go. Shell is saying 4 less items you have. The extra 6, now you just say, okay, if they don't see the value of it, this is why I like getting professionals involved. Because the professionals in your area, the estate sale people, the people who own the things, they know the value of the things that are, popular in your area. Okay? Now you get to say, okay, if they don't want it, I would also have asked this. Okay, if you don't want it, what do you think I should do with this? I don't know, give it to the Goodwill. whatever. Does anybody want it? It may not be worth anything monetarily, but that's also gives you an opportunity to just let that stuff go. You know? Seriously, and notice all we did was we looked at it from the different side. Instead of looking at it in deflation, we inflated. Oh, I feel bummed. You know what? How about this? I'm going to look at it a different way. Makes you feel better, and when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? Yeah, because they may say, you know what? Nobody buys those anymore. You know, or they're not worth our time, but you know what? Somebody might do this. I'm helping my friend whose wife passed with stuff that she had, and there's a variety of items and a variety of people who might like them. You know? This is how we do it, people, and I'm here with you. This is why I do one-on-one coaching. Because I know I can only give you, like, boop, a little taste of this. But can you imagine? Just imagine. And now I say this, and I don't even know if I have any consultations on my calendar, consultation slots. But just notice, I give you a safe space to learn these skills. I give you a place just to yourself, quieting down the outside world, to just sit and hear yourself think and realize what you want. And then I help you learn skills to get it. Okay? That's what it is all about. There we go. Muse of the Poet says, donated furniture to charities who would come and pick it up for free. Yeah, because at a certain point, I helped a friend a couple of years ago down the Cape. Her mom was selling their house. They had been in for decades. My friend came over from Hawaii. She was helping, and she's like, I think I got it. I'm like, here, let me come help you. This is what I do. So I went up to Massachusetts, and I helped her. And it was kind of heartbreaking, and this is another reason I say start this now, is because if you wait and you wait until something happens, you won't be able to make decisions that feel good to yourself all the time. They ended up starting with some stuff that was really kind of nice antiques. Some people wanted it, but they couldn't pick it up. Other people didn't want it, all this. They ended up giving it away to people just to get it out of the house before closing. So the sooner you start this process, the more time you have to work on this at a pace that works for you. And speaking of pacing, I mean, that's one of the things I love about the way I coach is I am so flexible. I am. But I love it. Why should it be so regimented? Now, I am regimented in the fact that we sign up for 10 sessions, and pretty much it's once a week, every week for 10 weeks, and then maybe 10, another 10, another 10. But within that structure, there's flexibility. So if you say, oh my God, I got the opportunity to go out to California this week, I'm not going to be able to coach. I'm going to be like, awesome. Have a great time in California. We'll pop that to the end of your schedule. You know, oh, I'm not feeling well today. Okay, cool. We'll schedule it later. I love being able to say yes to people. I love it. It's what I every time I think back when I was managing some teams, I'd say, like, you know what? I want to say yes as much as possible. I want to see how but I will say no sometimes, you know? So notice these things. Where are you saying yes to yourself and where are you saying no? And this is the cool thing. Nope, you are doing this all for you. This is why I do have a thing. And I'm like, people who are ready to coach with me are ready to say, you know what? I'm a little bit jittery. Jitters are normal. But I know that I just need to learn some skills, have somebody there kind of holding my hand, teaching me this, walking me through it. I practice. This is what I feel like I need. And if you feel like you need it, that's what we do. Okay? Now, enough about coaching, but this is what it's like. It's just paying attention to you and giving you a nice, quiet, safe space to, as my mother would say, I can't hear myself think when everything's going around. And clutter. I was just reading an article about clutter. I'm reading about clutter all the time. Clutter makes it more difficult for you to think because you can't concentrate because your brain is working to try to make pictures of all of these things. That's why, like back in the day, remember, I mean, this is way before all of our times, but horses that used to drive the horse and buggies, they would put blinders on them so the horses would not freak out about what was around them because all they wanted them to do was move forward. Sometimes you've got to put your own blinders on, but when you do that, you can concentrate and say, okay, why am I stopping? I want to get going. How can I get going? I'm tired of how I want to be. Can I do something different? I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I'm obviously missing some skills. Oh, check it out. This lady on TikTok, she knows these things. She seems nice. Maybe I'll work with her. I love this. Christina says, you have taught me to ask myself, what do I need, and communicate it. People will help you feel good. Yeah, that is a powerful life skill, people. Figuring out what you want and going for it. And I don't mean it in that like Nike, just go for it. I mean in the everyday. Going for that good parking space. Asking for extra salt. You know, saying I need some help here. I can't do this alone. Asking for an extension on something. Asking somebody, Christina, you know what I'm talking about, to say, things are so crazy here. Can we schedule it, resume our schedule in August? Yes. Easy as that. But I never would have known unless you had asked for what you want. Don't be afraid of asking for what you want. You deserve to get what you want. You deserve to get what you want in this life before you die. And if you don't know how to ask for it now, I teach you this on the sly. It happens with decluttering. So even if, it's just if you want a cleaner home, a more organized home, I help you with that because it's something you want. You want an organized home. How am I going to get there? I'm doing all I can now. I'm obviously missing something. Maybe coaching is the missing link. Now, this is not to be an infomercial about coaching. What I'm just doing is I'm explaining to you. I'm actually just literally, I feel like I'm just showing you. This is how my brain works. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like when people coach with me, they get my brain working for them. And my brain and my nervous system and what I've done has transformed my life into something that I love so freaking much that if you had told me, actually this is funny, if you had told me when I was like pre-puberty, that this was going to be my life, I'd be like, yes, awesome, that's what I want. This is so cool. Once I got into it, and I got a little bit of fear, and it's like, I'd be like, in my teens and 20s, because I was a little bit, whatever, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I secretly would have hoped it would happen, but there was so much no in my life then. Nowadays, I'm like, oh my God, look at me. I love that chair. I love this table. That is awesome. That. And it's not just about the stuff. It's about the quantity. It's about the quality. It's about the easy life that we have. Like like these chairs are black so that if they look kind of dirty, we don't have to wash them off like the white ones. Learning about yourself and what you want and going for it. This is a skill you can use. This is a skill you can learn while you're decluttering your home. And you can use it everywhere. So what I've been talking, I've been here for like the last hour. I hope I've helped you go through your stuff. I hope you have learned some things that even if somebody else asked a question, that the next time you go into your house, how about even this? Looking at your stuff and saying, is that on the surface? Is that stored? Or am I saving that because it's sentimental? And then allowing yourself even the concept of, wow, I might be talking negatively about myself with this and it's discouraging me from doing it. How could I talk about this? How could I talk about this in a little bit more encouraging way so I want to do it? Okay? Here's a wonderful thing, mother of three pearls. I've even organized my summer clothes and I'm committed to challenging myself not to repeat outfits. I did a t-shirt thing on it today. Okay? There we go. Julie Knox, Realtor. Always a pleasure. Now, you guys, let me just set you up for success, okay? Tomorrow, speaking of success, I am going out to an even hotter place. I'm going out to Las Vegas to take some coaching seminars. So I will be off the digital grid for like 4 days. There's a very slight possibility, very slight, but it's there. I just want to offer you that I might do some pop-up TikTok lives, but it really depends because I don't know what the schedule is going to be like when I'm out there. So if you like what you're hearing, what I would recommend is checking out the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. There's a lot of recorded TikTok lives there, okay? Oh, come on, there we go. There we go. Sorry, TikTok was telling me to shut up. I will be back next week, and if you're on the mailing list, you know the schedule for my TikTok lives. If you want to know the schedule for my TikTok lives, literally between now and the end of July, just pop on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. You can get there right now. It's free, it's easy. And I'm going to send out the thing before today to the new people about what the schedule is like, okay? Yeah, I know, Erin, huh? Las Vegas in July, seminars on the equator not available? Seriously. I think it's probably cheap for the people who are putting it on. But you know what? I like to travel. I actually got some Marriott status now, so I'm going to see what that's like out there. And I'm going to scoot, because actually I think my phone is overheating, okay? Stay cool. Baby steps it. You guys got this. You can do it, and you're worth it. Okay? Whoops. There we go. Oh, my phone is hot. I will see you when I see you.